All right. Well, let's get started. Who wants a reading? I'm just taking some names. That's all. Don't worry. We're not ready yet. hold it right there for a second, folks. Greetings. I just want to say hello. So just before I check in person, I just want to say hi. Greetings. It is Wellness Wednesday. I'm glad you guys are here. It is sort of my my time of day where I have a cup of coffee. It's just decaf, so I'm not going to get overexcited. Don't you worry. I'm just still checking in a few names. I think I can handle about 12 readings today, okay? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So I can do 5 more. I reckon I can handle about 5 more. So let's have a look. Let's see, who did I miss? We got up to Margot, we got Honeypot, we got Nikesh, Nikesh, I'll say Nikesh there, Sun Lehman, Marlena, Valbona, and Inya. We're going to start with Inya, okay? Cool. Now, let's see, a couple of those names that are here that I didn't take. Aniris Gilbert, you were here very early. Did you want to have a little oracle reading? Just let me know. Aniris. Okay, and Linda, of course, greetings, how are you? Let me know if you want one. And I just saw Getty. Hello, Getty, good to see you. And of course, All Sun checking in. By the way, All Sun, I'm going to be unmoderating people for a while, just to clear the, things, okay? And if it's the same thing, I'm just going to be unmoderating everybody for the next few shows, just to clear everything, and then we start again, okay? Let's have a look. Who did I miss? Anybody did I miss? Have I missed anybody? I can take probably, well, I can start with this, you know. I've got 7 lined up already. And that's a good start. Let's have a look. Tati Bonds, of course. Thank you. Yeah. Ask and you shall receive. Tati Bonds. Sure. Why not? That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this thing. Okay, so that goes over here. And I got room for a few more. So, oh, C. Dominguez, I thought you would want one. I had a feeling you would write up. There you go. See? It wasn't so hard. All right, I'm going to have to clear the spaces. I've got to clear the decks here. So, as you can see, this is where we are here today. Got it. And we're going to be pulling single oracle cards. And I'm going to show this to you guys because some of you know this very well already. But in case you haven't been here before, I'm offering 5 different decks, okay? 5 different decks, so depending on your situation. So before we even start the readings, I'm going to show this to everybody. Some of you have seen these before. Let me just get a little more organized here. So these are the decks that I'm offering at the moment. So like if you're hey, hello Love Triber, yes, let's put you on there. Of course, Love Triber. We're filling up fast today. I've only got spots for probably 2 more, and that'll probably be it. But we'll see how things go. Karen, hello from the Netherlands. Karen, I'm assuming you want one. Shall I just put you on there? Let's have a look. Karen, you've been here before. I recognize you. Yay. So anyway, what I was saying is, I think I can handle 1 more here and then 1 more here, and that'll probably be it for the show. If I can do more, I'll try. Let's have a look. So, depending on your situation, yes, Karen, you may. That's why I was asking. Karen, triple question mark. There you go. So, depending on your situation, if you're struggling with like spiritual advancement and starting to hear things, see things, feel things that don't make sense, like you're getting, oh my God, is that extrasensory perception? Am I getting messages from the great beyond? Who are those beings over there? Are those my invisible friends? Are those my angelic beings? Are those my spirit guides? What was that apparition I just had? All of those, okay? Mona wants one. You can hear it tomorrow. Oh, okay, so I guess you're going to bed early. Yeah, I'll put you right at the end over here. Okay, Mona. Mona Darkness. So it's a family visit today. So let's leave it at that for now, okay? I'll see how we go. If we can take more later on in the show, then we'll do so. We'll see how it goes. Toshi Barvi. Hi. Hello, Toshi. So anyway, I was explaining, if you're dealing with issues about your psychic expansion, extrasensory perception, high sensory perception, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairsmelliance, all of these things, that's the deck for you. If you're already zooming way, way up in the clouds and everything is like, it's too much, and you want to come down to earth and get a grounding, this is the deck for you, okay? Now, if it's a lovey-dovey issue, if you're single or you're hooked up or whatever it is, you've got questions about relationships, we can pull this, okay? And if you're struggling with internal battles between the ego and the soul, you know, like a clash of wills, you know, really struggling, you know you should let go of something, you know you should, you know, gracefully surrender, but it's so hard to do, then that's the message for you. Also, regarding nature, if you want a message from nature, we'll use this deck over here, okay? So keep all that in mind. Hello, Tashi, don't worry. Just hang out with us and see what happens. If we've got time, we'll put in some extra readings, but we're already pretty full up. I've got 12 immediately. It's kind of first come, first serve, and if people say, I want a reading, then they get an oracle reading. And that's about it. Let's have a look. Cheers, everybody, and welcome. Gosh, I needed that. So I'm going to leave that message here for a bit while some of you are digesting the idea. I'm going to have Mona wants the first deck. Okay, so I'll put that over here. And let's have a look. Hello, Tashi. First of all, let's go check in. I'm going to say hi to everybody. Greetings, greetings. This is Terra Lumination from Terra Lumination Broadcast Center. This is inside the Terra Lumination Space Station. It's fantastic here. Of course, as you can see, most of the crew are relaxing for the day. We do have a calendar up here. And, you know, technically it is Wednesday lunchtime for them. So everybody's on a lunch break. So I have to run the whole show on my own. Anyway, so we're up here. Everything's fine. Everything's good. I can see there's Mona on this monitor over here. Here's Toshi over here. I see you, Toshi. And Kush is over here on this monitor. Yes. Okay. And Valvona is over on this one over here. Valvona, you're way, way over there. Okay. So that's great. Yeah. Yeah. So cool. Marlena wants Romance Angels. Okay, let me make some notes here while we're still checking everybody in. All right, Marlene wants Romance Angels. I'll put a lovey-dovey sign here. So we'll see what comes up. Okay. Yes, it's my house. Yes, Toshi, you're late. You're late again. Oh no, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So, Tashi, what I have is 12 oracle readings already lined up. So the show is pretty much full already, but I do have more post-it notes, okay? Hey, Delisha. Hi, Delisha, what's going on? So I've got people over here who I could keep this like as a backup list for people who are late. And, you know, it's late. It's late, people. And you're looking for a reading, but we're already full, okay? Nikish wants the psychic deck. Okay. Psychic awareness. Okay, I'll put that over here. Sun Lemon wants Romance Angels. Okay. I'll put a Romance Angels over here. I'm just seeing it's all coming up on the chat right now. Let's have a look. Alvona wants Romance Angels too. Wow, okay, it's a lot of lovey-dovey stuff here, people. There's more. C. Dominguez, I think it's, okay, you want for the psychic growth. Psychic growth. Okay. Super. Well, we're off to a very good start. Inya wants romance angels. Okay. Relationship issues. Okay. All right. Hey, Getty, I see you. Hello, Delicia, I saw you. Margot, I think I saw you. Margot wants Gaia. Margot wants the Gaia coming down to Earth. Well done. Well done. Tati Bonds wants romance angels. Where's Tati? I saw you over here. Got that. That's really going to help us. It really helps when I know the decks that you're going to have. Also, oh, hey, Love Driver. I got it over here. Psychic growth. Also, we're going to start really soon. And once we get started, if any of you guys have, like, you know, because when I like to, let me just do this over here. Hold on. So, the way things work best over here, okay, Getty, if you gotta go, you gotta go. Well, have a nice show, okay? Thank you, Getty, okay? Okay. So, what I was going to suggest is, like, when it comes time for your reading, okay, if you could think in advance, like, and you have like a little really important issue that you want to deal with, and you've been waiting patiently, and then it's finally your turn, like, if you could type into the screen maybe a few minutes and a few seconds in advance. If you don't have to. I like to go blind. I'm perfectly fine with that. For example, what are the messages coming to me today regarding the subject of ... If it's like romance and relationships, like my lover, my spouse, my child, my grandmother, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, all those things. You know, just a couple of words. That's all we need to trigger the reading. I mean, we'll do it anyway, but it just helps sometimes. Yeah. If you want clarity on a health issue, personally, I would probably go towards the Gaia deck, because it's really kind of blunt. It's in your face. There's no ambiguity. It makes it really easy. Okay. Oh, so you're looking kind of like a yes/no. You want a yes/no answer. Oh. Of course you're going to get better. Let's go back. Hold on. All right, now I missed something over here. Hold on. I'm going to go back to the stage. I've got to check people in properly here. Okay? Now, I just want to check something. Give me a second here. Honey Tarot, where are you? You've got issues about health. Well, I'm naturally going to aim for the Gaia deck, because we want clarity and simple, direct answers, okay? Yeah. What did I see? Well, I just missed something. Hold on. I just missed something. I'm checking the chat for a few things. Hold on. So I'm just going to put... okay, let's leave it at that. I'm just going to... Here's the spare deck. This is the backup in case people fall asleep or they decide they don't want their reading after all. I'll factor something in there. So I'll put this over here. I'm going to stash it over there. And let's have a look. See what I'm missing. Okay. All right. That's better. I'll put you on the backup list, okay, Jessica? I'm putting you on the backup, okay? You're going to go on the backup list over here. See how that works out. Okay. Amy Bluebird wants to go on the backup list. Okay. All of a sudden people are arriving. I have to tell you, sadly, I don't have any control over how the notification systems work. I've tried everything imaginable and I still can't have any say in the matter. So really the only way it works anymore at this show is you just have to know about the show in advance already and just get here early. Yeah. Yeah, that's about all we can do at the moment. That's okay. I mean, it's just another way of doing things. Cheers and welcome. And when it does come your time, if it comes to your time, you're going to go for Power of Surrender. Okay, very brave choice. Well done. Good decision. So Honeypot, also, we might use the Power of Surrender deck with your health issues too. Because a lot of times there's huge amounts of expectations that are wrapped up in health matters. And then we have to start letting go of expectations, because sometimes health issues are very, let's say, contingent upon what I think of as your emotional health, your vibrational frequencies. You know, this whole channel is sort of about, you know, this esoteric thing about healing and energy healing and spirituality and all those sort of like wooey things, okay? And you see, Getty's already, Dr. Getty Schnickson has already done a full analysis, and you're going to be fine. Thank you, Dr. Schnickson. Thank you very, very much, Dr. Schnickson. Yes. So, let's see, I'm going to check in, reporting from the Lumination space station right now, where we are broadcasting live across the world, helping people wherever they are, okay? We'll see what we can do. All right. It's very, very late over in Norway. Hello, I see you. Where's your monitor? Over okay. That one's for Inya over there. I think that's Inya. And you're over there in Norway. Hello, Norway. Okay. And Mona, I've got you over there on backup. We're very low on security today. These are all the security cameras that we use, like because you know who's going to show up. Maybe there's like a Russian space orbiter trying to land here and hijack our stuff. You know, it could be like digital space hackers. You know, there was an alien convention in Las Vegas or in Area 51 a few weeks ago, and they might be out here trolling around trying to hijack and kidnap anything. You know. There's crazy stuff that goes on the internet these days, people. You have to be so careful. Hijackers, hackers, messing people's lives up. But we're safe up here, and we have huge, awesome security. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's get on with the show. Inya wants to go to bed, so we got to start now. Okay, I'm going to put all this stuff aside, and we have to make room. I just saw Inya's notes. Hey JGF, good to see you. Hang out, man. Lumination security is here. Okay, thank you very, very much. It's very helpful. All right. So where were we? Okay, by the way, I'm going through a security screening at the moment. I'm debadging everyone while we go through a random security check for all moderators. Don't worry, you're not going to be deleted. It's just a temporary matter. For the next few shows, I'm going to demoderate everybody who's a moderator, and then we'll reconnect again in a matter of short time. Okay, here we go. No offense. No harm intended. Okay? Okay, let's start with Inya. We're going to do the Romance Angels deck over here. All right? Thank you, security. Thank you so much. It always brings me peace of mind because, as you know, I'm a little bit shaky. Karen wants the Psychic deck. I just saw your notes there. Okay. psychic growth. Okay, let's do that one. All right, it says from Inya, my relationship is a little bit shaky / foggy at the moment. How should I relate to my boyfriend, or is there something I should do or not do? Okay, so that's definitely a lot of wobbliness there. Definitely a lot of, so let's get a bit of a, first of all, let's bless this deck, okay? Bless the deck, bless every single card in this deck. Bless you, Inya, for being here. And thank you, Mona, for making Inya. And that we can even do this show at all. And let's have a look. I need to check in and do this properly. Okay. Yes, Karen, you can look tomorrow because it's going to be quite a while before we get to your reading, and it will show up on the action replay, okay? Just thank you for letting me know, okay? Okay. Okay. All right, so, Inya, there's a lot of big question marks regarding love and relationship, okay? So let's put you over here. Like so. There's always issues that go on with love and relationship. It's such a fluid thing that people have with each other. That's why a lot of people resort to contracts, you know, like in marriages, for example, because then you're laying down certain codes and expectations and rules of the road for the relationship, and then the parties sign off. And it becomes a very formal thing, and then it's legally binding, and then it is witnessed. Some people don't want that in relationships. They want the flexibility to come and go and duck out without any contractual obligations to another party. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In the United States, a lot of people sign these contracts, and they do these marriages and everything, and then 50% of them dissolve. That's just the statistical reality of this country. I don't know what it's like in all the other countries, but we'll see. So Inya, if there's, you know, if the energy is a lot up in the air right now, it doesn't surprise me, okay? And it's really good that you're asking the questions. It's like one of the worst things you could do is to like suppress your questions, bury your anxiety and pretend that everything's happy all the time. That's not healthy, it's not fun. In a really, really healthy relationship, people are very, very clear about their behaviors, their actions, their expectations, their desire, their nature, and they take risks. There's a lot of risk involved in a relationship, okay? And some people don't want to deal with the risk. They feel they're just lucky to be able to connect. And then once they've connected, everything, they switch it to autopilot. And when you switch everything to autopilot, that's when the problems eventually start to happen, because that means you're not doing anything to deal with everything in the moment, in the now. Okay? When you're dealing with the relationship in the moment, in the now, if there's a problem, you're dealing with it. If it's a problem with the relationship, you deal with it in the relationship. If there's a problem at work, you deal with it at work. You don't take your work problems and dump them on your partner, and you don't take your partner problems and dump them all over the workplace. Everything in its right place. There's a place for everything and everything in its place. Not everybody works that way. By the way, I want to let you know there's a lot of noise happening outside the studio right now. I think there is a spacecraft trying to dock here without permission. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where the sound is coming from, and I can't even see it. Let's have a look. All right, Inya, let's have a look. See what we've got here. Hang in. And also, Inya, please don't jump to conclusions about the first impression of the card, okay? So let's bless this deck. Bless you, Inya. Bless the channel. Bless all the electricity and the lights and the cameras and the platform that we can do this at all. Here is your card. It says romantic feelings, okay? So that's encouraging, because we're dealing with like the soft, mushy stuff about romance. And It says here, it's very unambiguous, it's very simple. Your feelings are real and they are worth exploring. Okay, so let me get the book and then we'll do a little bit of we'll personalize it for you, okay? Let's have a look. All right, it says here, the stirrings within your heart represent the song of romance calling to you. This card comes to you as guidance to follow the pathway of these feelings. Perhaps you've met someone who made your heart leap and you're wondering whether to pursue him or her. Well, this card says that the answer is yes. Take action by flirting, asking the person out on a date, or making your feelings known. It's very, very important. Making your feelings known. That's the important line here. Okay? That's what I was talking about before we even pulled a card. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay for them to have feelings towards you and you to have feeling towards him. But a lot of times, have you ever heard this expression, no finance, no romance? That's a very popular one. Well, here's another one. No communication, no relation. Okay, Inya? So if you have what you could call genuine, honest, loving feelings, and they are, and you're not expressing them, and they're being buried. For example, if you fear rejection, okay. Also, if he has loving feelings, but he's not expressing them because he might fear rejection. In other words, like you're obviously aware of. First of all, let me finish this. Hold on. First, let me finish. If you've recently been longing for a more romance in your life, this card is a signal to take charge of making that happen. Be the boss of this, okay? You can romance yourself first, by example, treating yourself to a luxurious massage or pedicure, buying yourself some presents, or watching a romantic movie. You can also actively pursue and attract romance. First, affirm that it is already inside of you. You have to kind of be in that vibration already, and it looks like you are. A partner definitely brings these feelings to the surface. However, they were within you as a potential initially. The more you affirm, I am romantically loved, the more you attract this condition within yourself and through a relationship, through this relationship. In some cases, you'll receive this card as a signal that you are ready for a new relationship. It then guides you to take action, such as being aware of people you meet, other potential partners, and hanging out with places where you could meet people and so on. My personal feeling here, Inya, is that there's clearly some kind of genuine romantic feeling between the self and the boyfriend, but it also feels like to me it feels like there's a lot of question marks, there's a lot of energy that's not being expressed, and that's probably because of fear, okay? I'm just going to check in with you very quickly over here. Hey, Inya. So, what I'm sensing here with the card is like, sure, romantic feelings, that's we know exactly what that is. We get that flutter here. We feel it, we feel the attraction, you to the boyfriend and the boyfriend to you, okay? And if it's early days, that typically means that there's not everything is really organized yet. Things are still just, it's just like gravity. Hold on, let me show you something. Stay right there. Okay, I'm going to go back to the stage. I just wanted to do this little simple demonstration. I have to clear this all up first. Hold on. So let's do this thing, okay? Here's really powerful magnets, all right? Let's say this is Inya and this is the boyfriend, okay? And you discover each other, you learn about each other, and there's an attraction, okay? And it kind of goes like this, all right? And then once that initial attraction happens, then there's typically like a, uh-oh, what was that? Who are you? What are you doing? How do you feel about me? Well, how do you feel about me? And we don't know because it's still early, and so you get these kind of effects. You get this kind of thing going on, okay, where they don't know themselves, And you don't know yourself because you're still discovering what it is like to be in, like in the magnetic field of yourself and another one without having the language, okay? So my feeling is to understand that your feelings have a language, they have words, okay? And so, like, for example, if you're confused and and just a little scared, it would be okay to use those words. For example, if you feel safe enough and comfortable enough with your boyfriend to communicate these things, and my feeling is this card is really, really, it's really hinting towards the, it's about the communicating between you and the boyfriend when there are the uncertainties. It's one thing to be attracted, but you're always, in any relationship, there's going to be uncertainties. And those uncertainties need to be communicated between the self and the other to find out what's actually going on. In other words, it's almost like the worst thing you could do is make assumptions about what they feel or what they're thinking. And instead, you have to take the risks. You have to be willing to take risks. They have to be willing to take risks. Like, how do you really feel about this? Are you concerned? Are we spending enough time together? Do we have enough quality time? What are the limitations of our relationship? What is holding you back? What is holding me back? Is there any anger that you feel? Whatever it is, it's being really, really open and clear with your feelings. Okay, I'm just going to go back to that first line. The line that really, really jumped out to me. Let me just pull it again. Okay, hold on. It's this one here. To me, this is the important message. Take action. Take action by making your feelings known. Okay? That's really, really important. That's what this is all about. And nothing really of any usefulness or consequence, I feel, is going to happen until you make your feelings known, or you literally ask the boyfriend to make their feelings known and literally put it in words. Have a conversation. You know, not the texting, not the emailing, not the Snapchatting, not the Instagramming, but no, real people. You with the boyfriend, the boy with friend with you, and then you interact and you use words, spoken words in conversation, okay? That's your reading, okay? Inya, I hope that helps you. Let's keep going. Thank you, Inya. Next up, we're going to read for Valvona B. And she wants the Romance Angels too. So let me keep shuffling over here. Okay. Okay, there's a whole bunch of new people that I haven't seen you guys yet. Hold on. Hold on. It's just I can't catch up with all of this. Hold on. Sedaria. And then there's Takey 30. There's LCM, and there's Anubhav and Toshi. Okay. All right, thank you, Balbone. I see your notes already. It says here, I have a crush. His name is Fran C. I feel so connected to him. We are not in communication. Is any chance for us, or is something only in my mind? Okay, well, that's a very appropriate question. It's a good thing to consider. So we're going to look directly at this, okay? Having crushes can be really, really like sometimes they really, really wake you up. I think crushes are a good thing in that they keep you alert. For example, before I even read your card, okay, Valvona, like to me, crushes are when you get these like instant reaction to somebody. It doesn't matter whether you're hooked up and got a relationship, or you're married, or single, or older, or younger. The energy of a crush, to me, if I look at the astrology, I can see an immediate link. It's like a lock and a key. It just kind of fits like that, okay? Now, whether it turns into anything is a whole other story. What I'm suggesting is that when you use the word crush, it's an indication that you've had an experience with someone where they had this instantaneous effect on your magnetic field, just like the magnets that I was showing you earlier. Okay? There was something immediate, but what is the meaning of all of this? A lot of times with a crush, we don't know the meaning of it. Are you attracted to their physical body, their behavior, their humor, their kindness, their mystique, their pheromones? It could be any, whatever it is that triggers that instant thingy. And then what my feeling is that this is a tremendous opportunity for you to learn about yourself. And it's not really about the conquest. It's not about you scoring with them or you getting them, or if someone's got a crush on you, if they're going to get you or not. It's to me very much about the learning experience and understanding your own sacred geometry. Like, what are your triggers? After lots and lots of crushes, you start to realize, oh my gosh, wow, I like these guys with big beards, or I like them to be short and tough, or I like them to be like all corporate and executive, and there's these constant triggers, and then you start to learn about yourself. Please take this back to the self. Okay, hold on. So that before we even do the reading, Valvona, I just had to give you my splurge there on the word crush that you were using. Let's have a look. All right, Valvona, let's bless the deck, okay? Invite your invisible friends. It really, really helps. If you feel you don't have that kind of connection, don't worry about it. There's plenty over here with Lumination, and we'll make the best of it, okay? We are guided and we are protected. We are guided and we are protected. Here we go. Let's have a look. You've got a crush on this guy, Fran. All right. Let's see what it shows out. Let's see what the signal here. Let's see what the message is regarding Valvona and Fran. Let's cut it up and then pull your card. I'm just going to keep it very simple and go quickly. Like if I do lots of really quick readings, I might be able to get a few more in here, people. Let's have a look. It says here, release your ex. Gosh. This is quite a heavy card. I don't know if you even have an ex, Valvona, but this card came up, okay? And like when it says here, release your ex, the little message underneath here is actually the time has come to clear your energy. For example, you know, when people are coming in, going in and out of relationships all the time, it's just like your computer hard drive gets fuller and fuller and fuller and fuller. And you don't bother to deal with all that. You're moving on to the next crush, the next thing, the next conquest, the next experience all the time. And it leaves very, very, very little time for you, your physical body, your spirit, your heart, and your soul to metabolize and to integrate all the energy experiences that you've had previous to this crush, okay? Previous any kind of relationships and situations before this crush. I think that's what we're talking about here. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's just read straight from the book here. You drew this card because your love life will improve once you emotionally and energetically release any of your ex-lovers. The benefits of doing this all include increased personal happiness, feelings of personal freedom, and the ability to attract a new lover, which could be your crush, whom you would otherwise sense as the presence of your ex. The new lover who would otherwise sense the presence of your ex in your aura. That's very, very important to understand, Valvona, because, you know, there's all sorts of words for it. I think like the like boomerang relationships and the rejection relationships. and the unresolved ex relationships and all of those things. When you want to actually have a really nice, sweet, enjoyable, loving relationship with somebody, especially somebody new, it's almost impossible to do unless you have literally cleared up your own energy first. Because the other partner, like the guy over here who you have a crush on, if they discover that you are literally like, perhaps let's pretend that's you, okay? If they discover that you are actually really, really messed up and you're still dealing with a lot of unresolved issues from previous boyfriends and relationships, the new boyfriend is going to smell that a mile away, and they're going to go like, oh my God, this is going to sound really rude, okay, Valbona, but they're going to say, oh my God, she's got baggage, man. She's got baggage. And then no matter how romantic it might be, the boyfriend might not care about that if they think that you are vulnerable and they just take advantage of you having a crush on them. Sometimes if you have a crush, you can't express it because you're scared of expressing because you might get rejected. But I'm not really worried about that. I think the real message here is that it's about cleaning up your own energy from previous things so that it doesn't contaminate new things. The moment you make the decisions to let go of the past, it is done. It's hard to do sometimes. Sometimes this is akin to peeling layers from the onion. So continue releasing your ex whenever old familiar feelings arise, or else you will just find yourself attracting people who are like, copycats or reminiscent of the previous exes, okay? I see you, Steve. Got it. Hey, by the way, Steve, sorry, I'm going to stay there a second, Valbona. I'm not finished, okay? Steve, I got those 2 links. I couldn't figure out how to reply. That was really scary, the one about the deletion, demonetization, and that was really inspiring from that psychiatrist. Thank you, Steve. Hold on. So, Valvona, as the painting on this card depicts, you may want to ceremonially burn a letter to release the old relationship energies and symbolically let go of old feelings. Or you can call upon the romance angels to help to clear lingering attachments to your ex. This is work, okay? This is work. It takes work to clear yourself, clear your energy, release the energy. In other words, it's almost pointless worrying about new boyfriends and crushes until you've done the work on yourself first. This is tedious. I mean, you don't want to be like this. You don't want to stay like this. Some people get very attached to their pain and their suffering and they can't let go, and it makes it very, very difficult to evolve and grow and have a healthy, loving relationship. So this card is really, really all about you, Valvona, doing the work on yourself first. It's like really, really annoying. It's like I'm having to be the really mean school teacher who's telling you, oh, you have to do your homework task again. It didn't clean up properly, or like you need to clean your computer. You need to reformat your own personal computer, things like that. So it's kind of I feel like I'm delivering a kind of an unpleasant message for you. I hope you don't take it offensively. I'm really just trying to help. You're not the only one, Valvona, dealing with these kind of issues. It's a very, that message could relate to quite a few other people, not even on this show. There are so many people who carry so many wounds and suffering and bitterness and unresolved energies and, from the past, okay? And we need to do that. This is so, so important for you, Valvona, to heal thyself. Love thyself first. Do your clearing up first. Then worry about the crushes. There's going to be plenty of crush opportunities for you, I'm sure. Okay? So don't worry about that. Don't worry about Fran. He'll still be there if it's out there, and it's possible. If you feel connected to him, that's great. Okay? Don't worry about it, Valvona. Right now, the important thing is take care of yourself. Doing the clearing, cleansing, refining, purifying, and getting back to you being your happy, self-loving self, okay? All right, thank you very much. I'm going to move on. We're going to move to Marlena. Okay, Marlena Mentz is down there in South Africa. Let's have a look. What do we got? She wants romance angels too. Now, Marlene, you've been here before and you came up with some really specific storylines. Now, could you Do you want to? Do you have something that? Hold on. Hey, Valvona, thank you so much. I hope that really helped you. And it was a tough message for me to deliver. I just said thanks to Steve. I don't know how I couldn't find a way to connect back with you through the chat, Steve. I don't know what happened. I don't know how to fix that. There's links below for connecting and memberships and emails and all that stuff, because all we ever do is have the chat. So let's go to Marlena. Let's have a look. What does it say here on the chat? Okay, it says here, I am moving 2,000 kilometers. Whoa, okay. To another province. I would like to know how that will affect my love life. Whoa, okay. All right, hold on. Let's get back to Marlena over here. I'm almost tempted to not use this deck. Let me do something like super fast, if you don't mind. Okay. Okay, what messages do we have here regarding Marlena and the big move and how this is going to affect her love life? Because a lot of these times these cards relate to someone who's already in your auric field. Let's just have a look, just in case you do have someone. Just hang in there for a second, Marlene. I'm feeling a kind of a pull here. I'm feeling quite a pull. You know what to do. What I would do is do a very, very quick, rapid connection with your invisible friends. Ask them to stand by you very close while we do this, okay? That was a very extreme cut because I wanted a very specific notes here. Let's have a look. It says here, retreat. Okay, so this is kind of a confusing card for a lot of people. Okay, it says here it's time to disconnect from the world, and it looks like there's an odd couple married going off walking into the woods, but we don't really know. The word retreat, to me, it's about going into the self, okay? It's almost, before I even get to the card, to me it feels like it's very much about you not even worrying or even thinking about anybody else or any kind of love life at all. I know that sounds very like depressing and unromantic, but sometimes we have to go through these cycles. You know how we always intimate, we're always separating, and even with ourselves, we go through these up and down cycles. Hold on. Let's just read from the book first, and then we'll dissect it, all right? It says here, the romance angels see that your love life blossoms as you spend time alone or time alone with a partner. It appears that you have been confused or conflicted by other people's advice and external influences. It is time for you to disconnect so that you can better hear your own feelings and opinions. Okay, before we even keep going, if you're already, if you know you're going to be moving 2,000 kilometers, to me it looks like it's really, really a strong message here to become very, very self-contained. Now that might not be fun because that might make you feel like, oh, I'm so lonely, I'm so lonely. Like even if you have prospects and there's, you know, like somebody from the past or somebody from there, the new place or whatever it is, to me it's a very, very strong message to like center the self first, okay? Hold on. So if you are in a partnership already, spending time together apart from other people will renew your commitment and take it to the next level. This could be like a vacation or something, you know, in case you're already hooked up, okay? Going on nature hikes, enjoying long drives and road trips and things, turning off the phones and the computers, and just having quiet time at home. It's an amazing experience. I don't know if you've ever done that, Marlena, where you are with the presence of a loved one and you're doing absolutely nothing together except minding your own business, but you're very, very close to each other physically. It's a very delicious, satisfying feeling. What I'm suggesting is that you can have that with the self, okay? The painting on this card also indicates a honeymoon, which could be the literal message. So there may be a deepening of commitment or a serious relationship if you're currently single. This card may indicate an upcoming event or an upcoming renewal of vows. Okay, I don't see that here. These activities are more meaningful as you spend time alone. Okay? If you're presently single, this card guides you to spend time by yourself, meditating upon your true feelings and thoughts. Be sure to take action based on any intuitive guidance. This strengthens your energy, which helps you to rapidly attract and manifest your loving partner. Again, so this was filled with a lot of messaging that I think was not relevant to your situation until we get to the end part here, where I feel it's like no matter how much attachment you have people and places at this moment in time, it looks to me from this message here that it could be a real advantage to you personally to get deep in connection with the self. Okay? Especially like if, I don't know how soon you're moving, but when you're doing the move, it looks like for the message here is to take this opportunity to really get to know thyself, learning how to love thyself in a very deep, profound way, take it to the next level before placing any expectations on the love life. You know, whether you're looking to get married and babies, or you've got all that, or you're separating and you want to reconnect with someone else, or whatever those things are. And so I think the key thing is to, it's almost like going on a retreat with yourself, you know? And you do that. I'm not saying going on a retreat with other people. I'm literally going, it's almost like if this was like the Hermit card, where you deliberately choose to go into a place of singularity so that you can find your own path, you could discover your own nature, discover who you truly are, and come back to a sovereignty of selfhood, so that you become fully blossoming in your selfhood, and then see what happens. So there is a time factor here. It takes time and energy and a big decision to go into the world of retreat, to be deliberately disconnecting from anything and everyone. Like, for example, Marlena, if you're very heavy into social media, it might be a really good idea to take this whole move as a radical opportunity to really kind of reboot your whole life, the whole of your life, not just love and relationship. So I hope that helped you, Marlena. I felt the pull here of two messages. Basically, do what you're doing with the trip and do the move, but take advantage of it in terms of going into the self. Okay, but when it says, when you said the card, your card is the Hermit, please, what I'm suggesting, Marlena, release yourself from any like fixed attachments to that card. Okay? We are constantly in a state of flux. We are constantly evolving, growing, shifting, metamorphosing, mutating, all of these things. So please allow that to happen, especially if you have like a very fixed nature. If you have if you're very, very orderly and you do things in a certain orderly way, I'm suggesting allow yourself to really go into like a meditative, dreamlike condition, and take it even further. Go into that. But it doesn't mean you have to be like the Hermit, you know, literal interpretation of the Hermit. It's perfectly okay to radiate Hermit characteristics at certain periods in time, but you also have multiple layers, multiple kaleidoscopic layers to your identity. So please allow for that, okay, Marlena? All right, I hope that helped. Next up, who have we got? Gosh, we got another Romance Angels. Hello, Sun. Okay. So, Sun Lehman, are you still here? Sun Lehman, if you have a particular issue in mind, like people have been writing like a couple of words, like what are the messages that are coming from me today, Sun Lehman, through the channel here regarding my love life and the matter of ... Like it might be a certain person or a situation or a certain problem, or, you know, the nature of a relationship situation, or the lack of relationship, or the abundance, or maybe you've got too many choices. Maybe you're kind of in between. You know, maybe you're very deeply in love with one person and also deeply attracted to another, whatever it might be. All sorts of things. So if you could put a few words on the screen, it would really help. Mostly the help is with the other people on the channel, because a lot of people get like secondary benefits out of the readings here, because sometimes they apply to the other guests and the other visitors. Okay? Oh, okay. Whatever's in your highest good. That's nice. You're giving us a lot of room to breathe here. Let's put it that way. Let's just keep it very simple. What is the message from the cards here today that is ultimately for Sun Lehman's highest good regarding love? So this could be anything, all right, Sun? So let's do this. Let's break it up. I'm doing really extreme cuts today. You know what to do. I would, you know, like sometimes I do little miniature breathing exercises like... Excuse me. Just something to clear my own vibes, okay? Because I just happen to be one of those people. I'm just like super, my energies fluctuate very, very rapidly and extremely. And so I have to put extra work in to make sure I'm centered as much as possible. Try to stay grounded. Okay, so we have a card here. It's ready, it is poised, and we're going to pull it. It says religious factors. Okay. So this is kind of a blunt message, whether you think about it or not. It says here, your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Okay? Now that's not a bad thing, not necessarily a good thing. Some people are very, let's say, religious fundamentalists, or they've been raised that way, or sometimes they're very spiritual, but they're not very religious. And sometimes we have like cross-cultural relationships, like, you know, a Christian with a Muslim, or a black person with a white person, or an Asian with like a Caucasian, or something like that. And you have these different cultural religious themes that are built into it. Some people don't care about any of that stuff. But if this card is here for a reason, so let's see what it says here. It says here, this card reveals that religion and spirituality are subtle but important factors in your love life. Hey, Sun Lehman, have you ever seen those places like spiritualdating.com or myspiritualsoulmate.com type websites? Don't quote me, but they do exist. In other words, hello, hi, I am Sun Lehman. I am an 8th level yogi, and I'm seeking an equivalent on my frequencies. You must have these qualities of, you know, being able to do mindfulness, whatever it is. Or you might be very like, hey, I'm deeply religious. I'm also very spiritual. I was brought up as as a Roman Catholic, but I'm very flexible with other Christians, and please allow for that. Okay. It's a mixture, but it's obviously important to you. Finding or working with a mate who is on your frequency. That, to me, that's the most important thing. Being on your wavelength. Okay? Perhaps you're looking for a relationship with a partner who shares your spiritual beliefs. If so, this card comes to you as a guidance to seek your new partner at the churches, temples, meeting places, assemblies that are associated with your spirituality and your beliefs. For example, if you're like deep into meditation, or you're like a yogi or yoga type, or you like to, or if you're Jewish, or if you are, Muslim or a Buddhist or something, hang out with those people and like let your love light shine in that environment. Just make sure that you are in alignment with your own spiritual doctrines first. Okay, in other words, there's no point in following the notes and the exercise here without already being very clear of who you are. But I think you are. Okay, if you're currently with a partner who is not spiritually minded, or whose beliefs differ markedly from your own, you may feel dissatisfied. You may also be influenced by family traditions that expect you to marry or relate within your own culture or religion. The romance angels are helping you address these issues, and they ask you to remain true to yourself during the process. Remain true to yourself. Decide which factors you will and will not accept in your relationships, and what your priorities are for your partner. For instance, it's possible that your love interest may live the spiritual principles that you find important. For example, forgiveness, charity, kindness, affection, respect, honesty, truth. Yet, I don't know if you can see that. Did anybody see that? Did it all freeze up for you guys? I'm not sure. And I hope the soundtrack kept going. I'll just go for that part again. For instance, it's possible that your love interest may have principles that are a very good match for you, but they don't have the same religious affiliation. And the angels are reminding you that your partner, just like everyone else, is a holy child of God. Everyone is spiritual in truth because everyone is spirit. Although it's not up to you to change your partner to match your spiritual path, your affirmations, prayers, and visualizations do have a positive influence on both of you and your relationships. Okay? So to me, it looks like it's really, really important. If you've never really thought about it much, might be time now to really consider looking at yourself and deciding what is the real priority in my relationships. Are you being, let's say, too compromising with the self? Are you allowing people and relationships into your life and world that are, let's say, that deep down are compromising? And let's say, hold on. So Sun Lima, what I was sensing there is like, depending on how you were raised, if you have an upbringing where like you're very, very inclusive and you consider all sorts of people and you're very kind and polite and accommodating, that can actually work against you, because you can end up like being very, let's say, forgiving of things that really don't deserve forgiveness, and starting to accommodate people that are really not necessarily such a great match for you. I think this reading here is an indication that it's time to take a really, really close look at the self and decide, and well, not decide, but understand what your priorities really, really are, because it's very clear that you need some kind of spiritual, heart-based compatibility as a huge priority for you. And there's nothing wrong with that, It's like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It can be a real blessing where you have similar like beliefs and religious systems that you can share. It takes away huge burdens, okay? But you have to discover that from within yourself first. What are your priorities? What is the truth about you? And make a list of what you know is unacceptable and what does not and what will not work. And don't apologize for that. Don't be ashamed of that, because not everyone's going to work. It's really, really important to discriminate. Not in a bad way, but discrimination means being very careful about your choices, okay? Discriminating, okay? It's not a bad word. It's not an evil word, okay? So that's what I'm sensing here. It's time to like really refine your priorities, including the religious and spirituality aspects, so you can get really like much more finely tuned into what works with you and others, or even a particular significant other. Thank you, son. I hope that helped you. Let's move on. We're going to go to Nikesh. Nikesh, are you still here? Please check in. We're doing the psychic awareness deck for you. Okay. All right. Nikesh, could you please just check in with us on the screen? I'll put you over here. We're doing the psychic awareness deck. So I'm just going to clear this deck. If some of you guys are experiencing buffering, it's showing here that YouTube is buffering at the moment. All my systems are actually looking really good. I have a lot of green lights and everything. Okay, so Nikesh Talani, psychic awareness. Could you let us know if you want? You don't have to. We'll just pull your card anyway. But are you going through experiences right now where you're struggling with things like extrasensory perception, clairvoyance, and clairaudience? Or are you one of those people who's already very high sensory perception and you're figuring out, well, what do I do now? So give me a second, Nikesh. I'm going to just shuffle this up for you. All right, not for you, because we're switching decks. Thank you, son. I hope that helped you. You said, I see on the screen here, it says being conscious is important to me. Well, to me, the message is becoming more conscious and becoming much more acutely aware of what that means and making that a much bigger priority in your life. Okay? So that you don't come unstuck. Hold on, my coffee's got cold. Damn. Excuse my language. I'm going to have a little break soon and warm up my decaf. All right, so Nikesh. What is those? Oh, you're looking for actual psychic messages from Mother Mary. Ooh, we might have to swap decks, okay? Because this deck is. Oh no, let's do this, okay? Let's just say Mother Mary is one of your strongest connections in heaven with your angels, your spirit guides, and you're looking for some more clarity, like perhaps. Okay. So, for example, Nikesh, I have what I feel is a really strong connection with I call them my invisible friends. And to me, it's a very visual experience, okay? Some people have audio. It's a mixture. And so, if you have, what you feel is a spiritual connection with Mother Mary, we're going to see what the messages are coming through for you here, okay? Let's just paint a picture here. Let's just say there's Nikesh, okay? And then there's Mother Mary out there. Just being who she is and doing what she does. And Mother Mary wants to help you to grow, advance, evolve, to be a happier person, more loving, more loved. Let's see what happens here. We're going to, let me just shuffle up, okay? And then we'll do this. All right, Nikesh, so I would, do the connection, maybe ceremonially hold hands, or however you feel like you have to get yourself in a physical posture to connect, or just sit there and comfortably watch this and enjoy it. You don't have to get all religious or anything if you don't want to. Or you can just do this in a very, very gentle, friendly way, like we're at a coffee shop together, okay? Here we go. Here's your message. Decide. Okay, so I'm going to take a really bold leap here, Nikesh. Decide. The energy of deciding and decision making, okay? Before I even read, there's a little book here. We're going to talk about this in a second. I'll just pull it up. Hold on. It's a very short message, so before we go into it, I want to share something with you. Hey, Nikesh, I don't know if you have ever visited with us on the Sunday Night Lives, but sometimes, a lot of the times I do a group reading, which I use my Lumination heart spread. And the whole idea is to bring our head part into the heart, so that our whole body is integrated. Our whole body is like a glowing disco ball of love, where there's not much in the way of ego, but it's much more about the purity of self, the purity of soul, and it's all moving through you. And as we go through the cards and everything, a storyline and a little movie comes up, and I try to, let's say, narrate the movie as we go through, and we come up to a specific card, which is the card that I dedicate completely to the healing power of decisions, the healing power of decision making. Decision making is so important to how our life plays out. And a lot of times, the reality is, I've learned this the hard way, a lot of people do not like to make decisions. They don't want to make decisions because that means they are lumped with the outcome. Like, if I do this, then I could get held accountable for that and that if that goes wrong. If I do that, if I go chasing this person over here, they could dump me. If I work really hard to try and get really advanced in a career and I fail, I'm going to be, it's not worth the risk. And so people suppress themselves by refusing to make decisions. And there's a difference between deliberately refusing to make decisions because you don't want to take the risks or live your own life. It's because it's like an energy of defiance, okay? So when I see the card here, it's talking about decide. To me, before I even read from the little book, Mother Mary is being really, really cozy up with you. Literally like the most loving mother you could ever imagine. And she's trying to drop a very gentle hint. Like, dear Nikesh, it's time to understand the healing power of decisions, the healing power of decision making, the importance of decision making and what it means in your life, in your world. And it's funny because in San Francisco, I can't remember where I saw it, but there's some big university is setting up a whole curriculum on the art of decisions, or the art of decision making. It's so fundamental. Because you could decide to do this, that means you're not doing that. If you decide to do that, you're not doing this. And that has outcomes. That means you're taking risks. Every time you make a decision, you're taking risk to some degree. Even the little tiny decisions, a lot of the ones are automatic, but the big ones, people don't want to make them because they think, I'd much rather someone else just makes the big decisions and I'll just do what I'm told. Let's go to the card, okay? So let's read from this first, all right? Sorry, I got really carried away there, Nikesh, because the importance of decision making, from my perspective as a reader and people, I've helped thousands of people, I've done thousands of readings, and in my own personal life, I know that the facility that we have as human beings to make decisions that are like goes against our ego or goes against instinct. We have the ability to do that, and sometimes it's very, very tough to make decisions. It says here, 2 of the most powerful words to raise your vibration and gain the support of your higher celestial forces are, I decide. That's what Mother Mary wants you to hear. It's like she wants you to start making decisions. She wants you to decide that it is time to make decisions. No more sitting on the fence. No more letting other people make decisions for you. No more outsourcing your outcomes in life to the decisions that are made by things like governments and society and expectations and co-workers and relatives and families. Okay? The moment you truly decide on a particular goal and fully commit to a course of action, the universe can step up and begin to assist you. But until you decide, until you make decisions, the only thing the universe and all your divine support systems and Mother Mary can do is respect your free will to not make decisions and then simply and patiently wait until you make decisions. Not even your angels or Mother Mary or guides can override your lack of decision. Once your intention is set, however, all sources of higher power, including your Mother Mary, are ready, willing, and able to assist you. So ask yourself, what have I decided today? And what is my intention right now? Once you name it, all systems are go. When I see this, when I see this card, I don't know if you've heard me on the channel a lot. I say this to myself a lot and sometimes in readings. I'll do this, okay? What now? What now? What now? What now? What now? What now? Okay? And that pushes you. When you do that, when you say that, what now? What now? What now? What now? What now? You're doing a little tiny microscopic but very powerful invocation that pulls you into the vortex of decision making, and then your mind kind of goes, oh, I have to make a decision. What now? What now? What now? What now? If I don't make a decision, whatever it is, what now? What now? That's just going to happen to me randomly, and I don't have any control over that. So when you when you kind of go like, hey, what now? What now? What now? You bring it in, and then you can make a decision, and then you can start to take more and more ownership and control of your life and have a much richer, fuller experience. And guess what? Your dear Mother Mary will love you more. She wants you to decide. She wants you to go deeper and deeper into the world of decision making. Okay? All right? Whatever the decision is, what now? What now? Please, dear angels, please bring to me that which is mine. Please take away from me that which is mine, so that I can make my decisions. Ta-da! It's like magic. Thank you, Nikesh. Well, that was fun. Nikesh, Honey Tarot, where are you? Honey Tarot, are you still here? We're going to look at health issues for you. I highlighted the Gaia deck because I think that'll be helpful right now. I think we need to get, because if you're having questions, that tells me that we need something solid, okay? Okay. Yes, say it, Candace. What do I want? What do I want? That's another thing. Actually, you know what, Candace, hold on. Let me check in with Candace a second. Hey, Candace. I know that one. What do I want? I'm just going to confide something personal to you. I spent many years in therapy. Yes, Tarot, can you imagine that? Tarot Lumination going into therapy? Oh, I have. I've spent many years in therapy because I really needed it. And one of my therapists, a wonderful, wonderful woman, Bonnie, she taught me these really simple tools, like how not to be afraid of, being yourself and making decisions. And one of them, she said, you have to learn how to say this and not apologize. You have to say, what do I want now? What do I need from me right now? And how am I going to get that? Okay. It sounds like she's training me to be like a narcissist or a megalomaniac or something like that, or like a despot. But it was not that way at all. The reality is I'm one of those people who's had a lot of, let's say, very destructive experiences that came my way, and then I had to kind of rebuild myself out of nothing. And I'm still working on it a lot. And so there was like no sense of self. Nothing. There's nothing there. And so she was training me like, you have to understand that you have a right to be you. You have a right to be yourself. So what do you want now? And how are you going to get that? And I thought, wow, this is like magic. And I kept thinking, what I want now is I'm sick of being mistreated, or what I want is to stop the abuse, or what I want is to enjoy dairy-free ice cream. What I want is to go for a walk right now because I know I'll feel much better when I get back. I don't want to force myself to sit in front of a computer all day just because I might increase my watch time on the channel. No. What do I want now? What do you want now? Decisions, decisions, decisions. Whew. Thank you, Candice. And welcome, by the way. So honeypot, excuse me, not honeypot, honey tarot. See, I just saw that, honey pot. Okay, so anyway, sorry about that. I'm just going to put the psychic deck away, and we're going to pull the Gaia deck, because I really want to get kind of blunt here, okay? Candice, we probably went to the same place. Anybody, by the way, anybody who's here who's suffered abuse or extreme abuse to the point of almost like total obliteration of the self, it's sometimes very, very hard, long road to recover, okay? There are a lot of people who come to this channel who've been through some really horrific stuff. And I've been doing a lot of readings with people who's been through the horrific stuff, and they're still dealing with horrific stuff. It's an ongoing thing, okay? And it's really, really hard sometimes. All right, here we go. I'm going to use the Gaia deck because I want some really straightforward, down-to-earth stuff regarding health issues, okay? So what are the messages we have here today for Honey Tarot regarding these health matters, okay? I'm going to keep it really simple. Use the KISS rule. Keep it simple, silly, okay? K-I-S-S. Keep it simple, silly. Get it? I'm sure many of you have heard that little expression before. But it is a very powerful expression. It's a very handy thing to remember. Okay, let's have a look. Dear Honey Tarot, what messages do we have coming through today here for you from the Gaia deck regarding your health issues? Okay, I know you're concerned. Of course you're concerned, otherwise you wouldn't have asked. It's funny. My angels were telling me, like, calm down, calm down. There's like, this is a public show, and be very careful and diplomatic, okay? I don't know if, I just felt I should share that with everybody. All right, here is your card, Dear Honey Tarot. It says, Intuitive Communication, Silent Whispers of the Heart. Now this is we're gonna dedicate this to the health matters, okay? So, actually, let's go straight to the book here. I'll show you the picture in a moment. This is an old deck now, considering like how many hundreds of decks are on the market these days. And he wrote all of this stuff, and he made all the paintings himself. Okay, there he is, Tony himself. The paintings are big, as you can see, like 3 feet by 3 feet, but they're actually big, even bigger. So it says here, I have a feeling, Honey Tarot, we're going to have to go deeper on this reading than I can get from this card. It says here, this card confirms that you have a natural psychic ability that can be further developed and expanded. But in order to develop this innate gift, you must pay greater attention to your intuition. This can come in many forms. For example, it can be gut feelings, or an unusual or unexpected thought, or a subtle and silent whisper that seems to flow from your heart. Close your eyes and be aware of all you feel around you. The universe is alive. The earth and nature are living energies. Whether you know it or not, there is an aspect of you that is in constant communion with all of creation. You are therefore also in constant communication with everyone and everything, like we are all one. It's a very Piscean and Neptunian type of message here. All that you need to expand this wonderful ability is within you. Start to listen to your inner voice and learn to trust your vibes and natural instincts. You are about to discover a whole new way of being. So, dear Honey Tarot, I'll just show you the imagery over here. This woman is deliberately tuning into like the psychic vibes, nature, plants, trees, air, earth, everything, and starting to see her whole body as an antenna where you literally transmit and receive energies, okay? Now, I don't know the nature of your condition or your health matter, but I often find situations with people where, dear Honey Tarot, just from your name there alone, it tells me that you do tarot, okay? And a lot of times when people get involved in these kind of practices like tarot reading, astrology, energy healing, Reiki, all those kind of light worker type people. You might have gone on energy healing training camps and things like that. Whatever it means, what can often happen is they put, without any, let's say through innocence, they can put huge amounts of pressure on their body. Okay? I'm just going to confess here, over here at Tarot Lumination. Just give me a second. Honey Tarot, this is from Tarot Lumination. Greetings, okay? I'm assuming you have your own channel or something. So what I'm suggesting here is that, because over the time that we've been doing this channel, the channel tends to attract a lot of psychics and mediums, tarot readers, and people who are involved in light work and energy work and spreading what I consider the healing power of love. And they've made it a really significant priority in their lives. And a lot of people think, oh, I want to do that, I want to do that. And they jump into it. And they're not fully prepared about how taxing it can be on the actual physical body. Sometimes, like, I have to do so much self-healing and self-care just to keep this little channel going, because the channel itself puts a huge amounts of pressure on my physiology, okay? I like it. I ask for it. I say bring it all on. But if I say bring it all on, but I don't do what I have to do in terms of my self-healing, I can get really sick really quickly, because in this channel what I'm doing is essentially like the inverse of putting all the love out that we possibly can, is that we also attract a lot of stuff that needs healing. And so there's a lot of potential, like, let's just call it like invisible or undetectable energies that are hostile or toxic to you, but they're very hard to define. So your health issues might be above and beyond like a traditional diagnosis, like a flu or diabetes or I don't know, migraines or something like that, or arthritis or something. There are so many physiological conditions that are heavily impacted by our emotional state. If we've been heavily traumatized in youth, for example, it can lead a child almost towards things like epilepsy or chronic PTSD or super hypervigilance, or sometimes they can act out through things like violence or drug abuse or manipulation or abuse of other people, and so on and so on. And we're not aware that we're just literally, blobs of energy that are reacting to nasty energy that was put upon us. So all I'm suggesting with your card here is that whatever the health issues, please allow that by definition you're potentially very vulnerable and very wide open to influences that will affect your health and physiology in ways that you might not be used to, or ways that you have not yet developed skills or practices of self-healing in order to immunize yourself and protect and defend yourself. And so whatever the health issue is, it might not just be simple like, oh, I get migraines. you have to kind of go deeper and deeper and deeper. And I think that's really what the message is here, is that I don't have the time to do it. To me, this looks like we have to do an extended reading, but this looks like we have to go deep inside the layers of Honey Tarot to really unravel the health issues here. And I'm not going to push it. I don't want to really kind of get pushy or anything. All I'm suggesting is that you might be much more vulnerable than you think, and you might have become susceptible in ways that you were not prepared to handle. Okay, and of course that's all, you know, it's not the end of the world. It just means that health and healing has to start to become much more of a priority in your own life now, so that your own vulnerability doesn't leave you as a victim. I mean, we're all vulnerable. We're all going to like croak one day or another. Something's going to give out and crack. But while we're still here, it's kind of, especially for you, Honey Tarot, it's so important for you to stay optimized as a reader. You have to be at your highest, best, most high frequency, most loving and lovable self, okay? And it takes sometimes huge amounts of work and self-love and self-healing and self-investment, okay? And where health becomes a huge priority. Thank you, Honey Pot. See, I said it again. Thank you, Honey Tarot. I hope that was a useful message for you. Next, we're going to read for Margot Sensich. Okay? I hope I said that right. And Margot wants the Gaia deck too. That's interesting. Hey, Margot, are you still here? After Margot, we've got Tati Bones, and then C. Dominguez, then Love Triber, then Karen, ? And then Mona. We're going to put Mona's, when she's going to see that later on as a action replay. Margot, are you still here? Margot, are you still here? So we're going to read for you. We're going to use the Gaia deck again. Let's check in. Let's have a look. Okay, here we go. I see Margot's notes, okay? Looks like it says here Capricorn. I'm guessing that's a sun. Capricorn sun, Scorpio rising. Always felt different even from the family. You pick up others' energy easily. Okay, that's the Scorpio rising. Mostly draining. Seeing 1111 for the past 2 years. Open to messages and life purpose. Okay. Well, dear Margot, I'm going to make you a little tiny astrodoodle just so that you're aware of certain things. Here you go. This is for you. Sorry, it got a bit lumpy over there by Virgo. So I'm going to put the, it says here Scorpio rising. So I'm just going to put that over here. And your Capricorn sun. Okay, so I'll put the sun over here in Capricorn. Now, a couple of things, okay? This is for Margot. This is going to be Margot's thing. Okay, I'll just put Margot in there. Right now, if you've been watching the channel for a while, Margot, as a Capricorn sun sign, you would know that you have Pluto and Saturn hovering here, and they've been hovering for a long time. Okay, I'll just write it in. Pluto and Saturn. Saturn is in direct motion right now, and Pluto is in direct motion right now. This is sitting right on top of you. This is what's called a conjunction. I'm not sure, I'm not talking about the exact degrees. All I'm talking about is the simple fact that Pluto and Saturn are in Capricorn right now, and your sun is in Capricorn. So you are being, whether you like it or know it or not, you're being heavily influenced by the energies of Pluto and Saturn on yourself. Okay, over here. So this is a really powerful alignment. Number 2, your Scorpio rising energy is opposed and is being opposed by dear Uranus over here in Taurus. Okay? Uranus is over here in Taurus. So it's almost by definition, you're talking about you're always feeling different from family and everything. Well, it's going to increase. My feeling is that with this journey here, this is a journey. It's been going on for over a year now, but Uranus is moving through the sign of Taurus, okay? I guess I should write these in. Hold on. This is Capricorn. And over here, this is Taurus, okay? So, for all the Scorpios, to some degree or another, Uranus, like a clock, is moving through your 7th house of number 1, one-on-one relationships, like your mom. Well, it's more like, well, I think of it as any significant one-on-one relationship, okay? So if you're already feeling at odds, it's probably going to increase and become radically and more surprisingly peculiar as you go through this, because Uranus represents the energy of liberation, freedom, and the desire to, let's say, like make evolutionary leaps, not just crawling, but literally leapfrogging. And in Taurus, it's going to be it's almost like when you look at the Weather Channel, Uranus in Taurus expresses itself very well in radical weather conditions, highly unpredictable, unstable weather conditions, you know, like bizarre storms, hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, fires, anything to do with the land and the earth itself being shaken up and disrupted. Anything that is disruptible is going to be disrupted in your world of relationships. So please allow, dear Margot, that things are probably going to get stranger and stranger and more unpredictable as time goes on, and then it'll reach a crescendo depending on the exact degrees of your rising, and then you have to deal with it. You can't escape this energy. It's there, so you have to deal with it, and then it's up to you how you deal with it. Over here, with Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn sitting on top of that, to me, that's an interpretation that you are under a lot of pressure in a very, very slow type of energy. You know how they, let's say, ferment cheeses? I mean, you're not a lump of cheese, but for example, some of the really, really highly prized cheeses take like 10 or 12 years to mature. And it's a lot of pressure. It's just a long, slow pressure. Same thing like with fermenting really good wines and things. Pluto is going to change you forever. Okay? Irreversible changes. If you try to fight that, you're just going to end up hurting yourself or allowing yourself to be hurt by others. Saturn, your ruling planet, is putting a lot of pressure on you to be like even more Capricorn than you are already. In other words, being prepared to take on the heavy burdens that maybe other people don't want to carry, the burdens and the teachings and the lessons that need to come to you in this life so you can become more Capricorn than ever before. It's a really tough placement. It's also very, very liberating. It's very transformational. So my feeling is when I look at the notes here, pick up others' energy easily, mostly draining. Well, you could easily have very strong psychic capabilities over here with Scorpio rising, okay? If you're starting to see bizarre synchronistic things happen in your life, like these numbers and so on, then please consider that stuff will increase, okay? Now, lucky for you, Margot, the Taurus-Capricorn alignment is really rich and harmonious for you. It's like a trine, okay? That's very healthy for you. And when the Taurus-Scorpio energy is working properly, It's the most delicious and satisfying energy there is. That's the energy of a really good marriage, for example. It's also the worst thing you can imagine. It's sometimes because when this is not working, when you discover that there's things that are out of whack between yourself and certain significant others, it becomes like really, really seriously unworkable. There's nowhere to hide. This is the house of open enemies here. And so you might be experiencing lots of abrupt, random, unpredictable, disturbing, disorienting experiences in relationships that make you feel as though you need to doubt yourself. Instead, please see it as your chance to grow and evolve and mature and become more substantial, more stable than ever before. It's a tough, tough lesson. Also, please remember that the Capricorn-Scorpio energy is very harmonious too. It works very well together. So as tough as these are, as tough as this can be, in many ways you are blessed here. Okay? So the key thing is to turn adversity into advantage. Okay? Open to messages and life purpose. Okay, let's do that. Okay, Margot? What kind of messages do we have here for Margot? It looks like you're going through a lot of shifts and changes. Please allow for that. Almost like it's better just to bring it on. Please, please, dear angels, dear invisible friends, dear guides, please bring to me that which is mine. Please take away from me that which is not mine, so that I can evolve and grow and make the best of these alignments right now as the Scorpio rising Capricorn sun person that I am. Thank you very much. Let's have a look at it. Okay. Okay, we're going to pull your card now. I'm sorry I got really carried away there. I had felt obliged I had to do that with Margot. All right? I'm not going to do that with everybody. It's just that when I saw those notes there, it really, really jumped out at me how significant it is with the planets right now. Let's have a look. Sacred Earth Mother. It is a message of love. Can you see the hands here? Okay. This is almost like what we do on the channel. It's about invoking the healing power of love, inviting the energy of love, the actual frequencies of love energy into our lives from up above. The love energy is a frequency like any other energy. People who are very abusive in energy, they have different auras, different frequencies. People who are alcoholics have different frequencies. People who are very loving and very loved have these kinds of frequencies. Let's have a look what the book says. It is a message of love. So you asked for a message, you're getting a message. It says here, okay, Margot, we travel the endless corridors of our mind until one day we find a pathway that leads us to our heart. Who you truly are has nothing to do with your personality or your achievements, your successes, or your failures. The you think you are is an actor playing a role that your soul has chosen. The essence of you is soul. The essence of you is light. You have no beginning, you have no end. You are an eternal spark of pure creativity, unlimited potential that yearns to be expressed and fulfilled. Your potential is your destiny. It awaits your call. Trust your heart and apply its love and wisdom in all that you do. In this way, all that you create or do will be a true expression of your soul. It is through expressing your truth that you create things of lasting value. Number one, be true to you. Okay? I've got this little song. I can't really play it here because don't have enough technology. It's called I Am Loving, I Am Loved. It's kind of, I really wish I could play it for you. I am loving, I am loved, Maybe I can. Hold on, stay there. I am loving, I am loved. I'll just give you like I'll just give you a hint of what it sounds like. Hold on. Give me a second. It sort of goes like this. See if I can do it. Hold on, give me a second. I am loving. I am loving. I am loving. So imagine like a really, really groovy beat. Okay, this is for you, Margot. It's about bringing in the healing power of love. And we do it this way, okay? It kind of goes like this. So you have to be very imaginative. Imagine you're at kind of like a really like open air hippie concert or something, and we don't have a lot of money or instruments, and you have to play imaginary bongos. Somebody has to play imaginary drums. Someone plays like air guitar, and someone else can do the hippie dancing and the chorus backup singers. It kind of goes like this. I'll do a very short version. And the beat is very, very simple. It's like I am loving, I am loved, 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 I am loving, I am loving, I am loved, I am loving, I am loving, I am loved. Do 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 you are loving, you are loved, 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 you are loving, you are loving, you are loved, you are loving, you are loving, you are loved. Okay, go Candace. Do 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 ba do ba do 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 ba do boo do boo do ba do boo do do ba do ba do 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 ba da ba da ba boom. And the last one is you figured it out. We are loving, we are loved, 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 we are loving, we are loving, we are loved, we are loving, we are loving, we are loved. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do 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 bum bum do do bum 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 something like that, okay? It goes something like that. Anyway, we're broadcasting like we are doing right now from the Eternal Lumination Space Station. Thank you, Margot. So the message is really kind of like, you know, simple. In your face, it's a little bit in your face there. I hope I didn't get too carried away. All right. All right. Let me just go back to this. I want to double check something. Hold on. Give me a second. I just want to check something here for you. All right, so actually I'm not going to read the whole thing again. I was looking if there was a couple of cues that I missed, but I don't think we missed anything. It might be better, more useful if you just go back to the action replay rewind and listen to the message directly from the card itself. Don't worry about whatever Tarot Illumination said just recently. Okay? It's a very simple, very, very direct message. Okay? There we go. Thank you, Candice. Virtual bongos, highly appreciated. Yes. We'll do this properly one day, okay? Next up, Tatty Bonds, where are you? Tatty Bonds, there we are. Hello, Tatty Bonds, I see you. Your head is sideways, but that's okay. Tatty Bonds, you're up next. You're going for Romance Angels. Let's look. So, give me a couple seconds here. What I want to do is warm up my decaf, and in the meantime, Tatty, would you maybe put a couple notes in there regarding love and romance? What are the messages coming today? Oh, you want the... Yeah, sure, of course we can do that. That's the Gaia deck, okay? This is a very solid, grounding, down-to-earth deck. It really kind of gets straight to the point. So don't worry. You can even do love interest messages coming from the Gaia deck. So we'll do it that way, okay? Okay, so for Tatty Bonds, we're switching decks. It's going to be Love Matters, okay? But we're going to use the Gaia deck. Ha 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 ha. Mixing it up here, people. Mixing it up. Tatty, just give me a second if you don't mind. I just need a minute or two. I need to warm up my decaf. I'm going to put on a little tune here. So give me a little second. Won't take long. I just want to have give me a second. Alright, so everybody, don't go away. Please amuse yourselves. I'm going to warm up my decaf. I'll be right back, and then we're going to read for Tatty Bonds, okay? Sounds sort of like this. No, I played the wrong one. I played the wrong one. This is what I want. Here we go. Have a look at the healing lights. Tatty, thank you very much for your patience. So, I just saw something pop up there on the screen. I got my decaf warmed up perfectly here. Let's get comfortable, everybody. I hope you're all sitting comfortably. We still have a bunch of readings to do. Thank you for your patience. Cheers. Let me just do this. So we're looking for messages on spiritual guidance regarding this connection and the separation, okay? Due to some hardship. You just need open, loving messages in the hard times. Okay, totally understandable. Don't worry, Tati. Let's have a look here. See how this comes out. Sometimes it's really good to have a break, you know? It's just, even if it's induced by hardship or conflict or some kind of disparity, where sometimes the best thing to do is just like in business or anything. It's sometimes you literally have to take a time out or take some kind of break and like regroup, gather oneself, take care of yourself, let them take care of themselves, and figure out what's actually going on inside of you. Especially how a lot of people, it's so easy to get stuck into things like drama, and instead of like what I would call considerate, thoughtful responses, what happens is a lot of people get into reactive behavior. In other words, you do this, so they do that. They do that, so you do this. And it's just reaction, action, action, reaction, action, reaction, and that's all reflex behavior. There is very little in terms of personal spiritual growth or evolution in those situations. And it can often be fueled by conflict. One conflict triggers another, and that triggers another, and it just amplifies. And so you get to this point where it's just like, it's not worth doing this anymore. So people separate, and then they have to go into themselves as their own unique beings and figure out, what do I do now? Well, first of all, number one, the good thing is to separate. I think it's a good thing. And then you are left with the uncomfortable position of having to deal with the self, okay? Getting back into the self and figuring out, what do we do now? What now? What now? What now? What now? What do I need right now for me? How am I going to get it? Those kinds of messages. And so in your situation, Tati, what I'm sensing is that, let's be really generous with the word hardship. It's just like different types of hardship led to separation, okay? And maybe there's no real harm intended or expected or anything, but the separation is there and the hardship's there, okay? So, let's take this all back to you. The reading is all about you, okay? We need to get you back to the self. In other words, I just felt something really strong just there, Tati. Hold on. Tati Bond. Do you say Tati or Tati? There's a tarot reader named Tati Tarot. I can't even say it. And she spells it T-A-T-I. But yours is T-A-T-Y. So I'm saying Tati. That's how it sounds to me. But anyway, the point, what I was... just before I ranted there about the spelling of your name, don't worry about the delay. It's about 40 seconds delay on this show, okay? That's how it is for live stream on this platform. So when I was just rambling there before we started to do the reading and everything, and I was talking about relationship dynamics and the difference between respond and respond as opposed to act and react, action, reaction, action, reaction, action, reaction, which leads to things like drama, which is like this endless, it's just like endless unresolved issues that never get solved. And so it just becomes so frustrating that people just kind of go, ah, and then there's a separation. But when that happened, just after I started talking about this, I felt like you jumped into the show, jumped in here as though you were like a little miniature Tati on the screen, and you looked up at me. It kind of went like this, like that. So I don't know if that means anything to you, but I felt it very strongly here. It's almost like I kind of caught you off guard, and you ended up kind of going, what? Oh, and I think we might have triggered a nerve. So to me it feels like it's really important to understand the difference between acting and reacting as opposed to making decisions and then allowing them, and so that you can take actions, or let's call it behaviors or acts, and then someone else responds. And a response it usually implies consideration, thought, and processing, where sometimes you have to figure things out that you don't want to figure out. Okay? There's a huge difference between reacting and responding. A lot of relationships fall apart and get to really, really, very, very quickly get to a point of dysfunction because so many people operate through reaction. And all I'm suggesting is that it might be time, this whole reading might be like a wake-up call. It's time. It's time right now for Tati to consider everything in terms of responding. So responding means like taking a breath, taking 10 seconds, like when, let's say, an energy comes towards you from a certain party, this other party. And instead of reacting to it, you respond. So when you respond, that means you accept all the energy, even if it feels painful or ugly or confusing, or whether you feel you're being attacked or misunderstood or pushed or whatever it is, or manipulated. You allow that energy come to you, and then you absorb it, and then you sit with it, and then you work with it, analyze it internally, and then you, like in a business meeting, you formulate a response. It's a calculated, considered response. It means you have to make decisions. So it's a very different thing. So let's go to your reading, because I felt that coming out even before we started to do the reading here, okay? All right, here we go. See you, Candace. Thanks for hanging out. Here we go. Let's see what message we have for you in these hard times. And we'll just remember what we were talking about earlier about the difference between reacting and responding. I'm not a trained psychiatrist. I don't have any big licenses. I don't have any PhDs or doctorates or, certificates of my own or anything like that. I wish I did, but I don't. I tried. I wanted to be a doctor, and I had so much training and everything, but I really screwed up because I'm just not very book smart. That's just the sad truth. Here we go. Purification. It's a beautiful card. It says here, the bare essentials, the naked truth, the wholeness, purification, fire. So I'm just going to hold the image here for a moment, and you can soak that up, and then we're going to go to the book. See what Tony has to say. All right, it says here. So let's say he's almost like talking to you. Dear Tati, what is it that your heart truly desires? What do you perceive is missing in your life? In order to find the answers, you must look inside your heart. You already know this, but you have been reluctant to look because there is a part of you who fears what your heart is trying to tell you. The only way forward is to face your fear. Something in your life is not working out as you would have liked, and it's not going to get any better unless you have the courage to face it. Close your eyes and relax. Imagine a beautiful flame warming your heart and soul. Feel its purifying and healing light burning away your fears and doubts, healing your body and mind, and clearing away all obstacles, either imagined or real. Feel your heart center, just like she's doing here, as an endless space full of only love and light. Feel the peace. You are safe in this eternal space of light. Now, what is your heart saying? When it brings a tear to your eye, you will know that this is your truth. Your soul will then guide you towards your happiness. All you need to do is follow this. Just trust. Okay? So it's kind of a hard message, probably a message that you would not have wanted or wished to hear. But this is what happens on this channel. Sometimes we hear what we have to hear rather than what we want to hear. Okay? I'm not going to say anything more, Tati. That was kind of a very obvious, blunt message. Thank you, Gaia deck. So, yeah. Again, I'm not going to dwell on it. I think you understand exactly what we were talking about. Okay. I'm not going to push it or rub it in any. I'm not going to rub salt into the wound, as they say. Hello, NPR. Greetings. So, C. Dominguez, are you here? C. Dominguez, are you here? We're going to look at the Psychic Growth deck. C. Dominguez, are you dealing with things like extrasensory perception, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, visual experiences? Where are you, C. Dominguez? Hey, Tati. It's a big. The whole message to me, it was just one message. It's like face your fear, go into the heart, understand that you are. To me, it feels like you're very much aware of what's actually going on. You know very well, but you don't want to deal with it because it's probably very uncomfortable. The reality is because it's an equation. If you're in a connection with someone, there's you and the other, and there's the other in you. So you are fundamentally part of the equation. And if it's an equation that turns into joy, fine. If there's an equation of pain, that's still part of it. And then to me, the message here is like fully facing and looking at and accepting your part in the equation, and then dealing with it, facing the fear. For example, it said like facing the fear, and it might not be what it is, but you have to face it. Otherwise, you end up kind of, in the prison. It's like being in a psychic emotional prison if you don't face it. It's a very uncomfortable reading for me to deliver for you, especially when it's concerning a love matter. So my feeling is the best thing is to check the video out later on the Action Replay Rewind and just focus on your video. It'll be there somewhere, and just listen to the notes again from the book, okay? Eventually it will make sense, okay? Ah, there you are. Hello, you're Claudia. I got it. It says, you've had messages of spirit when your surroundings are silent or at almost waking up. Also, you're seeing matching combination of numbers. My intuition is heightening. Will this get stronger? I am absolutely certain that it will, Claudia, unless you deliberately block it. My personal feeling, even before we get into this, is that you are on a journey now, and your spirit is opening and waking up, and you are starting to experience things above and beyond the three-dimensional plane. And that is exactly what happens when your spirit expands, and when you become more and more in touch with your multi-dimensional self, okay? Like people who do it professionally, very high-end, like professional psychics and professional mediums, they work very hard to develop these skills so that they can actually be, let's say, useful in doing what they do and how they do it. So, Claudia, I'm just clearing up the deck from after Tati, and now we're going to read from you. We're going to use the Psychic deck, okay? It's about psychic growth. How do you deal with your expanding growth in the world of psychic experiences, okay? Hey Tati, it seems from you may like you definitely clicked with the first part of the message when I was ranting on about reaction as opposed to responding. So take some time, listen to your message again, and just sit with it on your own. Just just you with yourself, okay? Very, very privately, and take full advantage of the separation, okay? Okay, Claudia, let's have a look. We're going to use the psychic deck here. Cheers, by the way. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your patience, everybody. All right, so what messages do we have here today for Claudia regarding her expanding psychic awareness, her heightening intuition, okay? On your notes here, Claudia, what you have described here are the exact classical characteristics and symptoms of a person who is expanding in their heightened sensory perception. That's how it works. Let's see, what do we have here? It says here, you are the boss. Aha. All right, before I even read from the book, okay, there's a few people who come to this channel who are professional mediums and very, very capable psychics, okay, literally psychic mediums. And one of the challenges of being a person who is that way is that it can be extremely disorienting and very disturbing, because you can almost feel like you're going insane, like you're seeing things, hearing things, sensing things that are not you. Where did they come from? They came from outside of you. Oh my God, I'm hearing voices. Oh my God, I'm seeing things. Oh my God, I'm sensing things, feeling things. I saw a face come here. I heard a voice. I heard a name. And it's just like, oh my God, oh my God. And that can be terrifying. And then you end up having to get to a point, well, you have to take control of this. You have to own it so that you're the boss, okay? You're the boss of all of this. Otherwise, it will own you and you end up in a loony bin. And you don't want that. That's not allowed. It's not allowed on this channel, okay? So you look at all these energies out here. Let's pretend that this is you, okay, Claudia? And you are attracting more and more and more super high frequencies energies to you, which is wonderful. Might feel a little bit trippy to you, but it can also be very disorienting, because once you open those gateways, more and more and more is likely to come to you. And it's very important to what I call energy management. Let me go to the book first. Hold on. Okay, I'm just going to read from this first of all. Okay, Claudia, it says here, when it comes to living a sixth sensory life, you have to make a choice. To trust your vibes, you must stop allowing other people's opinions and fears to override your vibes, or to cause you to doubt or to ignore what you feel. Trusting your vibes is an extremely self-empowered decision. It frees you from seeking approval, and it invites you to experience the peace of self-approval and self-acceptance. Wow. Be careful not to shop your vibes to seek agreement. Okay? Seriously, no compromises. Trust the guidance you receive without confirmation from others. We often take our psychic guidance to the one person we know will discount or dismiss it, in the hopes that if we can just convince this person, then we will finally validate our guidance. But this does not work. You're basically undermining yourself when you do that. Do not set yourself up for this kind of self-sabotage. Yes, trusting your vibes is scary, because when doing so, you take full responsibility for your feelings, your intuition, your impressions, your life. Yet, Isn't it far scarier to allow someone else to run your life for you? So, dear Claudia, muster your courage and take charge. Your vibes are trustworthy and they are there to help you. Ignore those who interfere and decide that when it comes to your life, you are the boss. Okay? So, dear Claudia, this is another thing they don't teach you in a lot of like, oh, hold on, stay there. So, Claudia, I don't know if you've looked at these places. There are a few places where people who train and coach people to become more and more psychic. There's that Laura Day person. There's like, you can Google all these like the world's top 10 psychic mediums and things like that. You could go to the James Von Prague School of Spiritual Arts or something like that, and you can actually get coached, and it's great. Let's just say you have a natural intuition and it's growing. One of the hardest things to do is to manage the energy so that you are not controlled by that. Otherwise, you would literally go insane. You would literally end up in a loony bin. So you have to start learning these things that I call energy management. Look at all the screens here. Like, there's energy in and out, energy in and out. You are a transceiver. If you think of yourself like a smartphone, okay, Claudia? In voice mode, okay? Not text, not, online, whatever. Just voice. Because in the voice mode, the phone is able to transmit and receive energy simultaneously. People don't typically talk over each other because it's difficult, makes it a problem, but the energy moves both ways simultaneously. You are a transceiver yourself. You are constantly transmitting and receiving energy. And if you do not take ownership of that, then you're not the boss, and then that stuff will take ownership of you. And it's nobody's fault. It's just that human beings are not trained or raised in terms of what I call energy management. You could train to be a doctor, you could train to be a scientist, you could train to be like a bus driver or administrator or a school teacher or a healer or whatever. But with the stuff that you're dealing with, the psychic growth and advancement and extrasensory perception and things like that, you're the only one who can do it. You have to find ways and learn about energy management so that you take responsibility for all the energies that are coming into you and understand how to create boundaries, and you become hyper aware of all the energies that you're transmitting, because you become acutely aware of the impact that your energy has on other people. And so the more and more it grows and more it expands, people would think, oh, now I'm so spiritually aware. What actually happens, it becomes harder and harder and harder, because the real work starts to become the energy management rather than having to be like a super skilled psychic medium or something. A tarot card reader or an energy Reiki healer or alternate energy healer or something like that. So, yeah, you're the boss. You need to become the boss, okay? Otherwise, that energy will take advantage of your lack of boundaries. So you have to find ways. It's work, and we can talk about it in private if you want. I do personal things like that, but just right now the message is enough. Okay, it's just time to be the boss. You need to be the boss of this stuff so that it's not the boss of you. All right. Love Triburn. We're going to do another one for you. I don't know if you're still here. You probably fell asleep on the hearth room. Let's have a look. So we're going to use the Psychic Growth deck as you become obviously more and more aware of who you are and why you are the way you are, and your whole aura opens up. Thank you, Claudia. So if you need to, you can, do a little action replay. Apparently, you can actually do action replays while we're doing this live. I don't know how to do it because I'm not on your computer or your phone or whatever, but apparently... Thank you, Claudia. I hope that helped you. It's a never-ending journey. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Love Triber, this one's for you, if you're still here. If you're not, then you'll get it on the action replay later, okay? So what are the messages that we have here today for Love Triber regarding her own psychic growth and awareness and expansion? It's very interesting because we already know that Love Triber is kind of a magnet for having attracted psychic experiences, and we're looking to, you know, as the journey unfolds, let's see where it takes us here. Love Triber does very, very precise readings, by the way. Love Triber does readings almost unlike anyone else. It's more to do with cards, and it's very precision. And like the tarot is very subjective, the astrology is quite specific, but Love Triber does another kind of reading altogether, which is very specific. Here we go. Here's your card, all right, Love Triber? Let's have a look. No way. Okay, so it's the same message, exactly the same message. So what I'm going to do is pull another card for you. So, dear Love Triber, take that as like a freebie, okay? Like you're getting 2 readings in one automatically, okay? So let's put that over here. Remember, you are the boss. You have to be the boss. So it means like we're probably going to have to go deeper and deeper into the world of energy management. That's what I call it. Now let's pull another card for you. Let's go a little bit deeper here. By the way, Karen, I don't know if you're still here. Karen question mark. And Mona, we know Mona is already going to be fast asleep. So we're going to do that later in a while. All right, Love Triber, this one's for you. Just focus on the actual reading from the book that I just did for the reading that we just did for Claudia. Okay? So get the second message, but now we're going to get a second layer. You're lucky, you got 2 in 1. Hello, Princess Laura. Let's see, I'm really breaking the deck up in a very extreme way so that we have a good clear cut. Vibe check. Okay, so do you see this? This is a tuning fork. Okay, Love Triber? You know what a tuning fork is. You just ping it on like a hard object and hold it, and it vibrates at a very specific frequency. There's a party trick that people do, like with wine glasses. If you've ever seen that trick, you take 2 wine glasses and you fill them up to different levels. And if they're identical wine glasses, especially if it's high quality crystal, and you put the exact amount of fluid in each one that matches, then you can take this wine glass over here. You put them next to each other. You take this wine glass over here and you rub the rim, and it kind of goes. And then this glass will start doing the same thing, and you're not even touching it. It goes, and then this glass starts doing, well, that's kind of what happens in the world of psychic exchanges or psychic mediumship, where you become like a very, very specific transceiver. You're transmitting and receiving energy, just like a radio antenna or a smartphone antenna. And it happens to operate at a very certain frequency. And when it comes to the psychic world, it's typically very ultra high frequency, super, super high frequency. We were hanging out the other day with a couple of professional psychic mediums, and Nikki explained it very, very elegantly. It was like this, okay? So Love Triber is like this. Let's just say there's the energies of the souls and the spirit type energies that you're wanting to connect with. And there's your energy as a human being over here. You're in a 3-dimensional biological form, and the spirits are up here as super high frequency spiritual forms. So what tends to happen is that in order for the connection to occur, when it's a loving connection, and both parties, and like you are looking to ascend towards higher frequencies and greater capacities to connect with the great beyond, the spirits over here, the really benevolent ones, understand, and it's almost like deliberately tuning themselves into you, like you tune into them. So it's like a matching of frequencies, so they have to tune themselves to go from here to here, just as you are tuning yourself to go from here to here. So it ends up going like this, okay? And then that's when you get the awareness. That's when you actually get the impression, the sense of clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, psychic impressions, mediumship, psychic mediumship, because then you're operating at the same frequency, like wow, 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 wow. It was here and over here, but it's hard to connect at those levels because you're not on the matching frequency. But when you tune in and you become more and more skilled, then you can get to this point where it's just like wow, 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 and that's when you have a connection. That's when you actually have the connection, okay? So, Love Triber, that's the message here for you. I'm going to read from the book now. It says here, by the way, I can share it with you people. Dear Love Triber has more tarot decks and oracle decks than anyone else on the planet, okay? And she still insists on evolving and growing above and beyond, seeking new horizons. It never stops. Here we go, Love Triber. As a sixth sensory person, it's important that you pay keen attention to the tone and the level of vibrations surrounding you, and you seek to remain in the good vibes. Start to rate your vibes by how they affect you in all situations on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being positive vibes that leave you feeling energetic, lighthearted, relaxed. And 1 being negative vibes that leave you feeling drained, sickly, uneasy, insecure, and not yourself. Scan all the situations in between. Scan all situations with a vibe check. Whoever it is, from a restaurateur or a restaurant or a building or a shop or a street or a car or a meeting or a party. Anything that you encounter, just treat it as something that is vibrating and has a frequency, okay? And then be aware of that. And then take a note of that. If the vibes feel good, carry on. If not, move to higher ground. Okay? It looks like they're out here in the Joshua Tree National Forest. Now, you don't have to explain your vibes to trust them. A good vibe is good, and a bad vibe is bad. Your body tells you. Are you listening to your body? Are you honoring and respecting your body? Your body knows. Feeling it is a reason enough to trust it. Aim to keep your experience at a 7 or an above on the good vibes scale. And if you're in less than a 7 situation and you cannot move easily to higher ground, use other tools in this deck to protect and strengthen your aura until you have greater skills to move to higher ground, like clickety-click like that. So it is a learning process. Again, it comes back to being the boss, learning how to take charge, own the energy, be the boss of it so that you're not a victim of it. And then you don't apologize to anyone or anything for being you or being the boss or operating at those frequencies in order for you to be truly, genuinely yourself. Okay? I'm going to put this away over here. Oh, look, Karen wants the psychic guides too. Karen, are you still here? Karen question mark, Karen question mark, Karen question mark. Calling Karen, calling Karen, calling Karen. Let's have a look, Karen. I'm just checking. Are you still here? And Mona wants the psychic deck as well. The chat is frozen. There's not many people here. I guess a lot of people have already had their readings and they just go home. I get it. So, Karen, just let me know. Are you still here? Type it in on the screen and send it over on the chat as soon as possible. If you have any particular issues regarding your psychic growth, expansion, spirituality, please type that in too if you can. It helps because other people are watching the show and sometimes they can really benefit from your reading. And from everybody else's reading too, by the way. Okay, so right now, from what I can tell, Love Triber already never made it here. Or they fell asleep. And we're moving on to Karen. I don't see, the chat is frozen. I don't see anything here at the moment. So I guess people are just observing. Karen? Karen. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Okay, I'll just put Mona over here for a moment. I'm going to put Karen at the center stage here. See what happens. We'll come to you in a moment, Mona. Karen, I don't see you here, so I'm just going to pull for you. Okay, I'm just going to do it. What are the messages that we have here today for Karen? Question mark. We'll focus on just like, you know, your psychic awareness, your spiritual, whatever, you know, some people call it, you know, ascending. I'm ascending, or I'm expanding my consciousness. All of those kinds of things. Okay, so let's keep this as a wide reading. If you do have specific issues, then you'll have to like what's the word? Reinterpret the reading, okay, for yourself. So all I can really do for now is offer you a broad spectrum reading, Karen, and hope that you get to see it on the action replays. All right. A lot of times I just throw away the post-it notes if people have gone away and disappeared, but today I felt it was really important that I honored the post-it note. And some of you might notice we don't have any moderators here today. I sent out a message to people that I am unmoderating all the moderators for a while until things settle down on the channel. Things have been very up and down lately, and I don't mean to cause any offense to anybody. I'm just trying to take care of the channel, make sure it's optimal for everybody. And I'm happy to work with anybody who needs help, okay? So here you go, Karen. It says, woo-woo is wonderful. It's the first card in the deck, okay? So, Karen G, you might be one of those people who's like, you've been living a life, I'm just Karen living my life, and all of a sudden, click, something happens that does not compute with life as you know it. And it's like, wait a minute, what was that? What the heck was that? Okay, let me just check in with you, Karen. This is your reading. There you are. You're just being Karen question mark and doopy doopy doo. You know, whatever it is, school, college, day job, kids or relatives and work and whatever. And you're just puttering along, whatever you do. And then all of a sudden, what was that? Like, did I just hear something? Did I just see something? Is somebody talking to me? Am I hearing things? Why are all these numbers appearing, everybody? Why are all these bizarre things happening in what appears to be kind of like a magical, orderly way? Like things just sort of happening. You know, synchronicity, serendipity, or you can even call it synchrodipity. Then you get it all. So what happens when that's starting to happen? That's a wake-up call. That's a bam, bam, bam wake-up call. Oh, what was that? And so let's go back to your reading, because this is the first card in the deck. It's a card that relates directly to that first flash. That first flash of awareness where you realize there is more going on in your life on planet Earth than your three-dimensional life. Okay? Woo-woo is wonderful. That's her word. It's not my word, it's her word. It says here. If you want to experience the joy of sixth sensory living, you must completely accept your psychic sense as a natural and necessary asset to living a divinely guided life. Better yet, make it your first sense in terms of value to you. See it as the most glorious part of you, a reflection of your divine nature. Birds have radar, whales have sonar, you have vibes. It is the divine plan. In feeling and trusting your vibes, it's important to realize that this heart-based sense is actually the universe knocking at your door, trying to make your life easier, more successful, more delightful, better. Accept that you are a fully operating, divinely guided, sixth sensory being who is getting into the flow of higher vibrations, and simply enjoy the life of synchronicity and blessings, of wonder and beauty that it brings. Let your new mantra be, woo-woo is where it's at. For me, okay, she wrote that. I didn't write that. It says, woo-woo is where it's at for me. It's cool. Okay? It's cool to be you, Karen. It's cool to be the evolving you. It's cool to be awakening to your sixth sense, your multidimensional self, your spirit, your angels, your spirit guides, your invisible friends, your archangels, your guardian angels, extrasensory perception, high sensory perception, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, all of those things. It's a wonderful thing. A wonderful, wonderful thing. Thank you, Karen. Mona, you're next. So, Mona is getting her reading in absentia. Okay? And she wants the same deck. Okay. All right, Karen. So, Karen, I'm just going to trust you that you're going to go back and get it all in the action replay. Please let me know in the comments box later or tomorrow or sometime soon how the reading worked out for you, okay? Excuse me, hold on. Sorry, I had a little frog in my throat just there. Now the coffee's finished, that's it. I'm just going to use plain old water. Thank you very much. The gift of fresh water. My God, it's amazing. I've been watching these things on Netflix about some of the horrors that go on around the world in terms of deprivation and things. I'm not letting it bug me personally. I'm not sitting here, using a box of tissues every hour, but it is very crushing at times when you realize how many people don't have what we have here. I feel that we're incredibly privileged. Almost everybody here has like a computer or a smartphone, electricity, running water, hot water, cold water, transportation, communication, things like perhaps healthcare or shelter or housing, certain comforts, all those things. Okay, there's Amy Bluebird. Hold on, Amy. I'll stay there, Mona, because you're not here. Let me check in. So, Amy, I see you there. There's a bunch of people. Oh yeah, you're right here. Hey, Jessica, are you still here? Jessica, are you still here, Jessica? Anyway, Amy's still here. And I know there's a whole bunch of other people that came in late, and I haven't even acknowledged them. I didn't even see half of your names. But I know you're here, and I'm sorry I can't read for everybody. I will do a little treat thing. I will do another reading after Mona, okay? I think I can handle it. So, Amy, if Jessica doesn't show up, just pray she doesn't show up, okay? And then we'll just jump straight to you. All right, Amy? So, keep your fingers crossed. I can't eat chocolate anymore. My body won't accept it. It's very sad because I love chocolate. It's the same thing with dairy and cheeses. My body won't take it. So I have to really modify my diet. And anyway, when I was watching this show about chocolate and the reality of what happens in the world of chocolate, it is heart-crushing. It is absolutely heart-crushing. The misery and the tragedy in the lives of the cocoa growers. It's despicable the way humanity treats humanity. It's very, very sad. Every time you take a bite of chocolate now, understand that it is built on the energy of tragedy. It's an amazing thing. Like chocolate is just like one of those wonder foods. Just like aspirin is a wonder drug, chocolate is a miracle. And it's built on oceans of tragedy. Cards are shuffled, Mona. Here we go. Actually, I don't think I cut everything. I'm going to do it again. Hold on. I got carried away by chocolate. If Olson was here, he would know. Okay, I think Jessica went away. So, Amy, we're going to put you up, and that'll be the last one, okay? We're going to read for you. You said Power of Surrender earlier, but if you want to switch decks, I guess we can do that. Mona, this one's for you. Here we go. What messages do we have here for Mona Berkness from the Psychic Growth deck here about trusting your vibes and getting in tune with your multi-dimensional sensory being? Okay, people, I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but it's coming over here from YouTube that the chat has been disconnected for some reason, but they're going to try and reconnect it, okay? I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not. There's no way for me to know anymore, so I'm just going to keep continuing. I don't know why it's disconnected. I don't know why the chat would stop with, even though we have a really strong signal at the moment. No, there's no way for me to communicate now. Or for you guys to communicate with me, so we're just going to have to go completely blind. Mona, I'm just going to do the recording here for you, and then we're going to read for Amy, and then that'll be it for the day. Thank you very, very much. What are the messages that we have here for Mona regarding her own world of multi-dimensional being? There we go. Let's have a look. Stay in your own skin. That's a tough message, okay? It's so easy when you become psychically aware, okay? Have you ever heard of like psychic trespassing? Psychic spying, okay? People sometimes take advantage of that. If you're very vulnerable, Mona, like if you have very, very porous boundaries, for example, like you're very open and loving, perhaps, that makes you very vulnerable to things like psychic spies or psychic trespassers or people who exploit other people's invisible openings, okay? so that they can get into you, like psychological manipulation, mind control, and all those things. But it works both ways. So when it says stay in your own skin, to me it's very much about creating boundaries so that, like, have you heard the expression, good fences make good neighbors? That's very, very important in the world of multi-dimensional beings, okay? Good fences make good neighbors, okay? It's really, really important. Maintaining psychic boundaries. I'm very lucky because I have like what I consider a massively powerful battalion of guardian angels. Otherwise I wouldn't be alive today, believe me, if you knew the life that I'd lived. So I'm very, very grateful for my guardian angels because I'm hyper porous. I'm hyper vulnerable to energy coming in that's maybe not necessarily good for me. So I rely heavily on my spirit guides, my invisible friends, my guardian angels, all of that. Okay? And it's the same thing in reverse. Like, if you are, you're discovering your own abilities more and more, it's very easy to be a trespasser. It's just like you're wandering around your neighborhood and you realize, wow, this is so cool. I can just walk straight over that person's lawn. I can go straight over their gate into their house. I can walk around in their back garden. I can climb up their stairs and look in the bedroom windows. Wow, I can do it because I can. I do it because I can. That doesn't mean it's a responsible or a healthy thing to do. I'm not saying that you are a spy or a trespasser. All I'm suggesting is that the energy, the phenomenon of boundaries is very important. Good fences make good neighbors. It's a fact. Here we go. Let's read from the little book. So apparently the chat is still frozen. We're going to keep going anyway. Mona, this one is for you. Dear Mona, as a sixth sensory person, you have a tendency to become overly empathic at times. Get it? Overly empathic. You not only sense others' vibrations, but you also absorb and internalize them as if they are your own. It's a very precarious way to be. This is not only psychically unhealthy, but it can make you physically sick if you do it often enough, or if it happens often enough. We talked about this in an earlier reading, I can't remember who. So I think of it as energy management. The cure is to mentally and emotionally stay in your own skin and do not operate like a psychic sponge, absorbing all the energy around you. It's okay to support others, but don't try to rescue them, okay? It's okay to connect, it's okay to be connected to, but, live and let live. It's so important to maintain your integrity and your stability and your selfhood when you're operating in the psychic realms, okay? Like it says here, please don't rescue people. It's okay to support them, but don't rescue them. Support is very different from rescue, okay? It interrupts the growth of the other person and it harms you as well. Stay in your own skin by slowly breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth while focusing on your own body. I do very intensive breath work 5 days a week. That's what I do is Terra Lumination because I have to. Because if I don't, I end up in the kind of mess that they're talking about here. I'm very vulnerable to all of this, by the way, Mona. The more you breathe, the more you keep to your own spirit and allow others the dignity of managing their own affairs. Live and let live. Mind your own business. Another key to disengaging is to see and name the physical objects around you. This 2-minute psychic energy adjustment resets your balance. It's nice to care, but it's not so nice to carry. Like, you don't want to be carrying all the wounds and the pain and the suffering of the others, okay? That's the psychic sponge as opposed to be the psychic supporter. It's very, very different. You're still using the same frequencies, but how you deal with them, it's a totally different thing. So the message is very strong for you, Mona. And the stronger and more psychically aware you are, the more you have to be aware of this. Thank you, Mona. All right, Amy, you're up. Amy, so you wanted Romance Angels, but there's nothing on the chat. The chat was disconnected. I'm not going to try and reboot the whole show because it's too late. And it takes a while to reboot the whole show anyway. And this is the last reading. So Amy, you're just going to have to trust me. Now you pulled, originally you asked for the power of surrender. Okay, and then you flipped to the Romance Angels. It says you were hoping you could get the Romance Angel deck. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to switch decks, and because that is your wish. I feel a bit sad because I don't think we've used that other deck at all today. All right, here we go. So I don't know your situation, Amy. You don't have to tell me in any way you can, because the chat is imploded here. But we're going to keep going anyway. Here is your card, Amy, regarding relationship dynamics right now. Whatever your situation, there is going to be a message here that is specific to your situation. And hopefully it will resonate. Okay, please, later on after the show is over, Amy, and you're watching this in the action replay, and you can do the comments and likes, please let me know how this works out for you. Because normally people put something in the screen like, oh yeah, I get it, thank you. So here we go. It says, free yourself. Okay, this is a very blunt message. Okay, it is time to take back control of your life. Okay. Can you see this as a unicorn inside a fence? That's the worst possible thing you can imagine. Okay? Think of yourself as a unicorn. You don't belong inside that fence. Here we go. Like the unicorn in the image on this card, you may feel trapped. Perhaps you have relinquished control to someone else, or maybe you feel smothered in your career or in a relationship. As you tune into yourself, you will sense the specific areas where this message applies to you. The chances are, with such a very specific, blunt message, you know exactly what this is talking about, Amy. You know, a work relationship, a spouse, a boyfriend, somebody, whatever it is, somebody very specific, or a situation that's very specific, where you are stifled and trapped. You can even ask yourself, in what ways do I feel limited or constrained? And then trust the answers that you receive. This card comes to you from the Romance Angels because they have heard your call for great love. To experience passion, though, you must first allow yourself to feel deep emotions. In doing so, you may come up against areas of your life where you harbor discontent. Simply by acknowledging these areas, you bring light to the situation and allow room for the angels to help you. You've got to reveal it to heal it. Okay? So if you are trapped, Amy, and you're not admitting it, or you're not even aware of it, it's time to become aware. Okay? This is a card of breaking free, a card of awareness. It is your time. As you commit to taking back control of your life, your feelings will naturally thaw and reawaken, and you'll become the genuine Amy again. This leads to a greater capacity to love yourself, love the others, and love your experiences, okay? And even if it's a specific person, to love another. Thank you, Amy. I'm glad you got your reading. I'm sorry for everyone else who didn't get one. I'm just going to shut the show down in a very short while here, in just a few moments, because we can't do much without the chat here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry the chat discombobulated. I'm just clearing the deck, and then we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to play you guys a little bit of music and give you some healing lights. And then we'll see you hopefully very soon. We're going to do the show on Sunday night, as you know. That's the Super Chat readings. Those are paid Super Chat multi-card readings. Okay? You're all welcome. Please subscribe, like, comment. Please click the bell. Make sure your subscriber bell is on the right setting. Check your devices, phones, machines, whatever it is, so that you get your notifications. Without your notifications, you'd never know this stuff is happening. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm going to say a little bit of a farewell here. Thanks for hanging in, Amy. I'm actually kind of glad that we did that at the end. It's a nice way to put a little bow on the end of the show. Sweeten it up at the end. I'm sorry the chat is vaporized. It's impossible to do this show without a chat. So I'm grateful that you're here. Let's see what happens. Maybe I'll do a test later on. A secret test. Don't be surprised. I might do it very quickly after this show's over, because I want to see if I can reboot. But I'm not going to promise anything, okay? Alright, here we go. Let's just wrap it up for now. I just want to do a quickie fare thee well. Okay?